We're back, and a couple of more minutes in hour number 3, and Augie is up next in New Orleans. Augie?
Happy Friday, Paul. How are you doing?
We're doing great.
So what do you think about Morehouse? They were the first one, right? They're the first
and they will not be the last of the small schools. I think the budgets and the testing is simply going to overwhelm a lot of smaller schools and really mid-sized schools as well.
Well, I'm sure Kirk Herbstreit is saying, see, they're already starting to fall. But glad to hear that Winston's doing okay there at LSU. But just goes to show you, when you're young and dumb and stupid, like we all were at one time, right? We never thought things would affect us. But it's a hell of a way to have to grow up these days. I probably would have been right there with him at the bars. So hopefully more people will heed his warning. But, Paul, you were talking about coaches who didn't want to leave the sidelines. What about Bill Snyder?
Yeah, by the way, in fairness, Paterno and Bowden were in this grumpy old man battle to be the winningest coach, and neither could see reality because of that. Bill Snyder retired, and then they brought him back, if you remember. And then he stayed too long.
He's like Grover Cleveland of college football.
Yeah.
So, but Joe Paul, I thought he was going to have to start coming out in one of those little rascals, those little scooters that you see the older folks riding around Walmart.
Yeah, no, I've got one of those.
Hey, there you go. You got a license plate for it? Are you sure?
It just says Paul, Pawwwll, something like that.
But, Paul, speaking of the Bear, there's one guy in college football history that basically was the Bears' number one victim. And since I'm talking, you know who I think that is, right?
I'm guessing it's Charlie Mack.
Charlie Mack. But you said something once that led me to believe that you knew Charlie Mack and you had a fond relationship with him. Is that true?
My first job, I covered Charlie Mack's final season at LSU, and
wow.
He was really a friendly guy, a likable guy. He just wasn't he was a good coach. Not a great coach.
And that's why I always thought Les Miles was son of Charlie Mack.
I was thinking of that. I mean, Les was, I will say this with all due respect to Charlie Mack's family, Les Miles had to be a much better coach than he was, but his stubbornness always got in the way. We're out of time. One more hour to go. We hope you'll stick around.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So, have you noticed how everyone's grammar is completely awful now? Like, the texting and the LOLs. Whatever happened to punctuation? I mean, drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The Home Depot is cooking up new ways to start summer here and bring summer home. From online ordering to free delivery and convenient store pickup, we're helping make sure taking care of your summer projects is a breeze. And summer savings on all your favorite brands make things even easier. So freshen up the deck, fire up the grill. Summer's here, and it's as close as your own backyard. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
For your Gulf Coast Sports Minute, I'm JP. While all 35 first-half Blue Wahoos home game in Pensacola have been postponed, that doesn't stop the team from providing affordable family fun events in the ballpark. The combination of stadium dining, trivia and bingo competition, disc golf, movie and fireworks nights, the creation of an Airbnb experience, along with other special events have filled the void left by baseball this season. Google Pensacola Blue Wahoos for all the events and dates. In our recruiting spotlight this week, Jaden Jackson of the Northview Chiefs. The dynamic running back already has his fair share of D1 offers, which include Boston College, Wake Forest, and USF, to name a few, along with the fact that he made a major impact in all three phases during the Chiefs' playoff season last year, including averaging over 14 yards a carry and over 1,600 all-purpose yards. And if you think he's just a small-town back, think again. This young man is a battering ram and can compete with the best in the country. He's listed as a 3-star recruit by 247 Sports, but his character is tough to truly measure. This is a young man, if you're in the north end of the county, you're not going to want to miss on Friday night. That's your Gulf Coast Sports Minute. I'm JP.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Nick Saban has a message for us regarding the coronavirus.
First of all, I hope this message finds you and your family safe and well. On behalf of our program, we want to give thanks to all the medical professionals and caregivers in our state and across the country in these challenging times. Our daily routines have changed dramatically over these past weeks. As we have said to our team, we share the same message to all of you. Please understand the following guidelines of social distancing. We ask that everyone please wash your hands often. Stay at home if at all possible. And when you have to be out in public, make sure you keep 6 feet between you and the nearest person. We are in this together, and as one team, we will get through these difficult times. And together, we look forward to all that's to come, like the opportunity to play college football this fall. But the best and safest way to ensure that happens is to listen to the experts, follow their guidelines, and take care of each other. Stay safe and roll Tide.
For This Week in Sports History, I'm JP. In 1937, Joe Louis knocks out James J. Braddock in 18 rounds for his first heavyweight boxing title for a significant movement in African-American sporting history. In 1939, New York Yankees announced Lou Gehrig's retirement after doctors reveal he has ALS. In 1963, New York Mets' Jimmy Pearsall hits his 100th home run as he circles the bases backwards. Yikes. In 1970 FIFA World Cup Final, Brazil and Pelé become the first team and player to win the World Cup 3 times, beating Italy 4-1 in front of 107,000 fans. In 1981, John McEnroe's famous "You Cannot Be Serious" rant in a first-round win over Tom Gullickson at Wimbledon.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line. Chalk flew up.
And in 1986, 1985 Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson signs a 3-year contract to play baseball with the Kansas City Royals. That's This Week in Sports History. I'm JP.
What would you give for our babies? What would it take for you to show them how much they're worth? Did you know that thousands of premature babies die every year as a result of not getting their full 9 months? Hi, I'm Heather Headley. Join me in the March of Dimes in the fight to reduce premature births in our communities. Visit marchofdimes.com today. Saving our babies. There's nothing more worth it in the world.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Well, I'm in a good mood now. Just getting in here and realizing that JP goes, go check that over there. 2003. District Championship golf ring. It's here, baby. Has nothing to do with the show.
Emmett Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, and it's caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl. Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. Baldwin beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
and welcome into the Sports Drive. Man, this is feeling like a Friday already, starting the show.
It is.
Balls are deflated out here, like the Patriots like it. That's how we do it.
Yikes.
All the team photos right there on that.
Going a really bad direction, what you said.
Looks like my hair when you do that right there. Like that.
It does look like it, actually.
But it's signed by Fred Robbins right there. On stage at the Arc, the Covenant fashion show right there. Had Fred Robbins sign this ball.
Arc of the Covenant fashion show.
It was an Arc of the Covenant.
I don't know
It's a Covenant Care fashion show
I was
right
about to
there.
say. I feel like that's two different things.
Noah's Ark, the Noah's Ark fashion show. We walk with Sally the sheep and Jerry the giraffe. We have all the animals. Polar bears come up there.
Sounds great, actually.
Really, Noah's Ark fashion show would be pretty cool, actually. I'm onto something.
Bring the animals. Who cares about the fashion part?
50-50, you split it? We can find these animals?
Absolutely.
Things might be shut down, I'm just saying. I might be a zookeeper next week, you know what I'm saying? But overall, when we're going to talk about what are we going to talk about today? 16 out of 302 NBA players tested positive. Good. Get them in. Yeah, no. They finalized the deal. It's done. It's one of these kind of like, no more bets. The guy out there in roulette. I saw that one time in Vegas. Guy did the no more bets, and the guy waited. I don't know why. I mean, he didn't get to the wheel late or anything, but he was sitting there, he's panicking, and he just dropped like $5,000 on black. But the guy had already gone like this. Didn't count. Yeah, he's like, whoa, baby! And then the guy's like, bet, disqualified. They call down. I mean, Vegas has got eyes everywhere, so they call down. The guy gets the word, and he's like, looked official, like they're inside the tent. And he's like, yeah, it didn't count. You knew no matter what, if the guy's like, he actually got that off in time, be like, what? Yeah, we're not giving you the money. No. Vegas wins in that case, but I got out of there. It looked like there was something about to go down. Overall, though, with the NBA, it's pretty simple. They sort of said, we're playing. No more July 30th. They're ready to make this thing happen. Let's get it going. So the magical world of Disney here.
The big deal is everybody's talking about the cases spiking right there in that area, obviously, in Orange County. But here's my thing. My question is, if you are one of these people that, because, they're bringing all, like, they're going to have movie theaters inside these hotels. I still think it's funny that the top teams get the best hotel, and then the worst teams get the worst hotels. Like, not that they're any terrible, but still, I think it's funny.
They're going to be okay.
They're bringing specialized barbers and all this. I mean, they're getting the amenities that you would pay unbelievable amount of money just to have on your vacation to be stuck in a hotel. But for NBA players, they're worried about all these people that clean the rooms, that bring the food and all this other stuff. All right, would you? Now, I don't know what money-wise. It wouldn't be a ton, obviously, but would you, single guy, obviously, because if you have a family, it's tough.
Brittany, if you're listening, this is
I'm
not
just saying,
hypothetical.
This is hypothetical,
okay, all right,
obviously.
I was going to say, someone's catching the show and texting, like,
she's
what
like,
happened
it
to
won't
Chad
be
right there?
hypothetical when I'm done. No, but if you're a single guy, would you stay away, do whatever to sit here and quarantine with these players? And, like, your job, though, is you got to clean the rooms.
As a married guy,
you got to clean the rooms.
I can't hypothetically answer this question. Yeah, if I was single, I'd just go out partying. Hey, Samantha. Hey, I'm not going to win this.
No,
I'm just going to say,
because
I would be great. I would just be such a straight shooter. I'd sit there and probably play Nintendo with my kids.
No, I'm just saying, like, because their problem is bringing these people from the outside in, not the players being in the bubble themselves.
All right, parking lot. Let's go right now.
So just throwing that out there, would you be, like, quarantine away with the players as long as they're there for 2 months, whatever it is, but you had to clean their rooms every day? You're one of the housekeeping. Would you do that to be able to quarantine with them? Like, just to say you did it?
Yeah, and on top of that, though, what'd be funny is if just like one of those alien movies with the tents, or from those people that thought they were getting like $20,000 rooms at the Fire concert out there, and it ended up being like the space tents you'd see on the X-Files. Well, it'd be funny to the players that end up getting like the 16 out of the 302 that have COVID. They put them out there in like the space tents, but it's the clear,
that would be great.
The clear windows, like in the movie Independence Day. Like you see his face go by, being like, "Man, Jerry really could help us at point guard right now." And be like, he waves as the buses go by, and it's the Disney buses too, with like a picture of Mickey and Daisy and all that. Oh, that'd be awesome right there. That'd be terrible, actually, but overall,
it would be terrible. We just sit here and said it's awesome.
Oh, that's so cool, man! Like that's a horrible humanity right there. We don't have a perfect answer to any of this. Today, I was at a restaurant for lunch where they were like, "Cheers, everybody." I was a little upset I wasn't at the bar because everybody. Well, actually, for purpose of the story, I wasn't at the bar, but we were all sitting there, and but everybody got shots and cheers, and then it looked magical. I mean, but then everything's about to get shut down now. As of 5 p.m., there's no more bar.
So 7 minutes past.
My brother-in-law actually, he owns Odd Colony downtown, and he actually texted out. It was pretty funny. He goes, those dreams, those passions, like you want to do something in life that you've always put, all your hard work and effort into it. Well, for those people that decided, and never pulled the trigger, good for you today.
Yes. Looking like a genius right now.
Yeah, for the people that were that lazy, I mean, that's like the best picture from all of this is the guy that's laying on the couch like a slob, and it says 2019, lazy and unemployed, and then it says 2020, Good Samaritan. It's passed down. I don't know. I mean, are we going – it sounds like the route that the media is taking us down, and who knows? Like I said, we're all aware of what it is now, and my mask is sitting right here. When we leave the building, we wear it. But just it's tough right now. It's tough for places that finally started to feel like they were getting back into it, and then they're not right now. And it's for good measure. I mean, it's for protection and safety, but it's still tough. Things can be for good measure and still be tough. And it stinks. And we know this month coming up in July, or about a week away now from expecting to have about 5 or 6 major sports get rolling. WNBA and MLS, I'm sprinkling them. But overall, you're going to have an opportunity to see so many games, and NBA, Major League Baseball, reporting July 28th to camp for the NFL. And nobody really knows if it's going to happen now. The NBA said no more bets. July 30th, they're making this happen. But we don't know all the answers. Every day this thing changes. So
yeah, that's just it. I don't, once again, I don't want to hear how in the world can we have football? How in the world? We'll see what happens. There's still enough time. I know there's not a lot of time now, but we'll see. I mean,
Phil Mickelson's leading, by the way.
That's
How
awesome.
about that right there?
That is
Travelers Championship in Cromwell, Connecticut. I know that area. Have a chance right now. 82 degrees up there, and
the one thing though that I will say that on the whole COVID thing, real
7-mile gusts. I know that's big. I know you were going to get to. That's not where you're going with this.
Break that down in the second hour of the show. But
sorry, I know. I just cat's out of the bag now. 7-mile gusts.
I do think it's people do need to realize too with the total cases. Look at how many active cases as well in your area. Now I'm not saying for everywhere.
A lot of active.
But like here in Pensacola, I think we have just over 500 active total. But yet the news and stuff posts, we're up to 1,500 cases or 1,400. Look at how many total. Look how many active. I'm just throwing that out there because they want the big number, obviously, because the big number makes eyeballs look at it more, makes eyeballs and people freak out. So you continue to tune in. Not downplaying any of this, but I'm just saying. Look at the active cases. Look at how many people are healing, and the deaths I can't speak to just because deaths are actually a pretty good number. They're staying fairly down, really. When you want to break it down, we're just getting an unbelievable amount of cases right now. Now I know that can change, and I want to make it clear I'm not downplaying the virus as always. Everybody wants to try to make somebody else scapegoat on it, but look, it is what it is. But I will say the active cases. We had a little spike here, obviously, but it goes down to this: if you want to panic, because panic's not going to do you any good anyway. But I do like Grover Robinson implementing the mask thing inside businesses. He implemented that today for the Pensacola area, or the city, obviously, of Pensacola. I think we've talked about it, it's a good thing to do anyway, just in general. Something so small like that, if it can help, so be it. But, just do a little research. That's all I'm going to say. I keep saying that because I keep having people, friends and other people that are acquainted text me and be like, oh, my God, what is going to happen? We're up to 1,400 cases.
This is all a lie now. This is not credible. Now, you said friends, and we know that's –
a couple.
I was going to say, this is all fiction now. But, okay, I'll let you continue for this, though.
But I'm just saying, they're like, oh, my God, we're up to 1,400 cases now. I'm like, you do realize that's total cases, not active. Huh? And I just go, this is what I'm talking about. And I'm not downplaying anybody. I'm like, well, look at the active cases. That's what you need to know right now. People that have gotten over this – I mean, we're talking about doctors still trying to figure out day by day, but it's one of the things that right now they believe once you get it, probably can't get it again because they're not having high cases of that. So
well, let's make people feel real good right now about the hypothetical
I don't
of
want to do
one
that.
guy
As
on
the media,
two.
That's
Hey,
not
listen,
what we're supposed to do.
2-4. I know we're
supposed
trying
to
to
make
get back
people
into
panic,
sports right
okay?
now. But Bryce Young, a 247 Sports director right there of recruiting, Steve Wiltfong.
Sounds dirty.
Sounds like you have to be a doctor with that name.
Sounds dirty as heck.
Dr. Wiltfong. He decided he's not. He's just a writer. But he said he shared his opinion, and as people are doing these days. And Bryce Young, he believes, will be a multiple Heisman Trophy winner. Cool. I mean, who knows? We might not have football for 4 years. So he's
you want to know my honest opinion on this? Depending on what happens with the season, if, and this is if, obviously, if our season is canceled, that's terrible taste in my mouth with that. And that's not just the coffee I just had. But Bryce Young will not be at Alabama. He will transfer probably somewhere else. Just going to throw that out there.
Is winning the Heisman the same as winning this ring that I did not know was in the building today?
No, because that ring is more rare right there.
This is no, nobody else has it right there. 2003 District Championship golf ring right here. I will not wear this in public. It's embarrassing. It's like the guy that wears a Letterman jacket.
Can you please wear that around Fred?
With the
when
Super
Fred
Bowl
Robbins
ring?
has his Super Bowl ring, and
Fred, and every conversation do this too. Be like, Fred, I
just don't want to hear it, Fred. Okay, I don't.
Get it up in his ring. First off, already you're supposed to social distance, but every conversation I'm up in his face with. No, that's not. When you're gonna pick your battles, don't get the 6'4", 350 guy around you. But Fred would he doesn't need to waste his time.
He would crush that ring in his hand. By the way, easy.
It's good seeing Emory Smith yesterday, and that was fun. But overall, looking at the national recruiting site, Bryce Young hasn't won the job yet. Most people expect Mac Jones to be the starter.
Mac.
Who do you think is going to be the starter?
Mac Jones. I think that they will sprinkle in a little Bryce Young. But here's the thing. I don't know if I would say that if we had a spring where we had the A-Day game where we could actually see both these guys go out there and compete. Watching the film on Bryce Young, have you watched the film on Bryce Young? He's actually, he looks good, but
you can't tell, though.
But
high school,
but
you cannot correlate to high school.
It's one of those that I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't feel that he fits Alabama. I really don't. I don't think he fits that mold of what they do there. But I don't know because
Jalen Hurts didn't really either, and then he transferred
out. So.
Okay, to your point, I mean,
touche.
Okay, there you go. Blake Sims,
and I'm not gonna dare. I will make this clear. I'm not gonna dare compare him to Tua because Tua was a special player. Like I know that you're talking about, he's a 5-star, and no, I don't care. I'm not.
But
gonna
if you get a guy, and I'm not saying he is, but you get a guy like a Kyler Murray behind Alabama's offensive line, it could be scary. If those holes and just the gaps, and with Harris and what they have still, this team.
I think this is going to be a big time run first football team, even with Waddle.
Alex
and those guys
Leatherwood
out
right
there.
here, Pensacola's zone.
Because Najee Harris, I think realistically he can. I'll just go ahead and say it. I think he will have a Heisman worthy campaign this year. I really do.
So you're saying your words is he's better than Derrick Henry. That's what you just said.
Possibly yes, absolutely.
Wow.
I like him. I love the decision for him coming back too. He didn't have to. He's good enough to go play in the NFL. And remember, this is coming from an Oregon fan, which apparently we got bad news today.
No civil war going on here.
Yeah, well, you know what? Not much of a war anyway, the way we've been playing.
Oregon State.
Yeah,
baseball, they give it to you.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see, by the way, they did the best teams ever in ESPN had the best 4 teams ever in college baseball history, and they took 3 teams from Oregon State.
I did not see that. I wouldn't be surprised taking one.
They took 3 of them, and then they took one of the Vanderbilt teams, which I get. I think it was the one with Dansby Swanson and some of the guys. But, I mean, look, when you have so many teams that win a title, like I understand you might not take Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, but
where was this at?
It was on there. There was 4. I got to find. Now, listen, you're the Google guy, but I was reading this. But 3 Oregon State teams. They were all title teams. I mean, they've won a lot of titles, but Oregon State had 3 teams, and then it was Vanderbilt. Come on, let's divert. I mean, even 2, but diversify a little. Like, you can't find one of those teams back in the day from Texas or Rice or all the Mike Martin championships at Florida. Oh, I'm sorry, that was wrong. That was mean. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize for that.
Dare you? Shameful.
All those great ACC title teams. That's where I went.
There you go.
Look, I'm feeling all big now. I got this 2003 district ring right.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Bold and brash.
I got some good coins too. I need to go to Emerald Coast Coins and ask this guy about
coin sports cards.
Yeah,
and
well,
racing
absolutely. I was just closer. It was on Creighton. They're both. Look at these things. These are some good chips down here.
You're getting mugged walking the parking lot.
There's a lot. Somebody's like, he's got valuables.
You better
now.
not flash that ring in front of somebody. They'll
Look,
bug you.
guys, if you're out there listening, I apologize that I wore my gray Nike shirt today with a hat. It just felt like doing that. So if you're out there, and just saying, you're driving
the gray
by,
Nike polo on with the Tennessee.
The hat. What hat are you wearing, by the way?
The Nashville Sounds.
Yeah,
hat.
that I'm wearing this Nashville Sounds hat. Just the huge over here. Guy in a white shirt that looks like he's going to Olive Garden.
They would look at me and then look at you and determine you're the one that had more money, obviously.
The shirt I'm wearing today should only be worn in either weddings or in venues to serve somebody water at like a catering company.
Sure, you can literally walk into a wedding right now.
I could. I just join them right now. Hey!
As soon as you walk in.
Just start clapping. Who is this guy right here? He's got the shirt. He's got the shirt going on right
Antonio, get to work. Get to work. You're like, that's not even my name.
Listen, it was clean. Looking at the, we don't know enough about Bryce Young, but what we will say with potential when it comes to any player in Alabama, or not just in Alabama, but any quarterback that's transitioning from high school to college, you got to realize that it's the toughest out of almost anything in sports. The transition from high school to college football, it doesn't always work out. Think about it. You get the Johnny Footballs, the 2-star recruits, guys like Dak Prescott or other guys that aren't big stars that work out. How many names have we heard with Jimmy Clausen or Kyle Wright, Brock Berlin, Jeff Driscoll? Someone's like, man, he's naming some Gators here. But naming some quarterbacks that didn't actually physically work out to be.
Tread lightly.
I mean, there's so many quarterbacks. Gunnar Kiel at Cincinnati, and he was ranked as the number 1 overall quarterback. Number 1 quarterbacks don't play for Luke Fickell. I'm just saying, overall, you get to a point where you realize, no, that's not true. That's also a knock. Look at me. Luke Fickell did Ohio State for 1 year, so I'll give him a pass on that. But I'm just saying there's enough guys out there that the 5 stars don't always pan out to be the best. Brock Vandergrift's expected next year. Well, we might have to say 2 years from now. Who knows? But Vandergrift to come back and be great for Georgia, or all of these stories. But we truly don't know the answer to all that.
I do, but I'm not going to tell you.
You have all the answers, right?
Always.
All of them.
I know how to solve every problem.
Ray Tanner had some answers. By the way, I'm not going to lie here, and this does no justice on radio, but we got the plexiglass sitting here, and I just stared into the plexiglass, and Crash behind us right here, you can see him in the mirror right here, and I jumped back when I looked over at you like he was going to attack you. It's right behind you, coming at you right there. But for a second, I saw these big green eyes like an inch away.
I can see Argy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind me. Yeah. Plexiglass. People on radio.
They have no clue what's happening right now.
No, I do. You mentioned Bryce Young. Talked a little bit about Miles Brennan today on Talk Football with Coach K, just because listening and reading. First off, I know I do this to myself, but reading message boards,
I know,
is the funniest.
I'm proud
of
you for reading, though.
Well, now that I learned a new skill, I got to use it every once in a while. Otherwise,
look, when I met him, I went to his house. All pop-up books. All pop-up.
They're still there.
I know.
I need some excitement. Yeah. All right. Jeez, no sports.
You can't do the pop-up book on the Civil War anymore. You got to get it out of the house.
Look, I'm telling you right now, with no sports, I've needed some excitement. So the pop-up books, it's boom.
I miss those.
I wake up.
What about the library when one of the tabs broke? Did you return it still? Did you say anything?
Let's not get into that.
I'm just saying.
That's
called
case whole librarian.
We call that Thursday in our house. I'm just saying we've all been there, right? If you learn anything from this show, there's always been that one pop-up book where the tab broke. That's what. South Carolina AD Ray Tanner talked about the possibility of what the SEC's plan is. We'll get to more on that. I think we're talking to Greg Harris today of the Pensacola Ice Flyers. Greg has been he's been wanting to give some news that I may or may have not given like 3 weeks ago.
People have forgotten about it by now,
so
there we go.
So
it'll be new again.
But Greg is let's just say that we understand coming in 2020 we were expecting some very nice renovations to the Bay Center, which makes the Ice Flyers happy.
Oh, a new parking lot.
Or going to see the puppet guy, Jeff Dunham. That's why I say. Or Globetrotters, everything that goes on there. And because the Sun Belt tournament's coming there, and it's going to be awesome. Well, Greg has been waiting to make some announcements, and we will see.
New parking attendant?
Greg, if you're out there listening, he's we need that new parking. Sorry, he's just doing his job. That guy's got to go. Yeah. Come in there to.
Whoa!
It's a nice old man. Let him go. Let him go. It's tough times for him today.
God bless America.
You got to be careful with him. Guy was in his 70s. Scary times. Come back for more Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, Live TV.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
What would you give for our babies? What would it take for you to show them how much they're worth? Did you know that thousands of premature babies die every year as a result of not getting their full 9 months? Hi, I'm Heather Headley. Join me and the March of Dimes in the fight to reduce premature births in our communities. Visit marchofdimes.com today. Saving our babies. There's nothing more worth it in the world.
Ever wonder how long it takes for litter to decompose? How about a paper towel or newspaper? 2 to 6 weeks. A cigarette butt? 1 to 5 years. That plastic bag? 10 to 20. A disposable diaper or plastic beverage bottle? A whopping 450 years. And for a glass bottle? 1,000,000 years. Let's stop litter madness. Join the team and let's drive it home. Keep our paradise litter-free.
Brought to you by Florida Department of Transportation and Keep Santa Rosa Beautiful.
An auto policy from State Farm gets you collision coverage. And this radio ad from State Farm gets you coverage of this beloved 90s hit.
I hit a car. I hit a car. I hit a car. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. My agent's gonna help me.
For more coverage, visit statefarm.com.
I'm Mina Kimes, host of ESPN Daily. Each morning, we bring you a deep dive into a single story from one of ESPN's hundreds of reporters. It's the best of ESPN Daily. ESPN Daily is presented by Marathon. Now, more than ever, we have to look out for each other and count on each other. Marathon wants you to know that you can count on them for high-quality, top-tier gas. Wherever you need to go, the people at Marathon are behind you all the way. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Hi. Guess we should talk about something. How's the, vermicelli game in your town? Got any good Vietnamese restaurants? Vermicelli? Oh, it's a noodle. Very good. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Over the last few months, we've realized that those excuses of not doing yard work, you've had to pay up. No excuses to get fat eating a bunch of rancid chicken wings and 3 pitchers because it's football Sunday. Tired of trying to pronounce names overseas at 4 a.m. that we don't know in Korea in baseball. But sports is coming back, and we're optimistic to carry all the biggest games on the Sports Drive, 5 to 7 each every night on ESPN Pensacola. Thank God all of this didn't happen during college football season.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
In the middle of a yard, the prettiest tree that you ever did see. And the ALB goes around, all around, and the ALB goes around, and on that tree there were some holes, the ugliest holes that you ever did see. And the holes on the tree, and the trees in the ground, and the ALB goes around, all around, and the ALB goes around, and in that hole.
This is about the Asian longhorn beetle, isn't it, this song?
It is. Look,
Bringing it back right here.
Ever since we took this off
that's right.
the commercials, all hell has broke loose in this world.
We need to bring back Smokey the Bear and dad jokes, too. We haven't done that one. But, yeah. Asian longhorn, the second the ALB was gone, that's when everything wreaked havoc right there.
You thought the ALB was the
problem. This thing does
some
damage, too, though.
You thought it was the problem. No, it was not.
The Asian longhorn beetle. You know, I tried to buy a book on that. It was like $80.
Yikes.
Yeah, they're not playing games out there. You can do a picture on Amazon of the Asian longhorn beetle out there. Who buys that for somebody for a gift? Thing terrorizes house. It eats all your stuff. It's not. All right, let's get to anything at this point. Looking right now at one of the things South Carolina Athletic Director Ray Tanner offered a timeline of hypotheticals really at this point.
Oh, wow.
But at this point, this is from him. At this point, we do not know what the 2020 football season will look like. That's a great way to start, and
There
then
you go.
anything
I'm
else you can say. But I believe there might be some mutant alien ships, maybe a cattle that runs across
Hornets.
with it gets to fly like a pelican across. At that point, you're free to do whatever. But he said our goal is to communicate the plan for the season in August. We want to make sure that everybody has as much information as possible. This is very cliche. Working with the SEC office and members of the institution before any decision is made. So far what you've gotten from this is nothing. These are challenging times and, yes, agonizing times. Thank you. As a coach and administrator, my vow is to provide student-athletes with the resources to compete at the highest level, whether it be in sports, the classroom, and community, and in life. We're all over it right now with the facts.
I'm not listening anymore.
This looks like it was
Really
written straight
the
off.
encyclopedia
Yeah.
at this point.
That's like when it's like, what color is the sky? Well, Roy G. Biv has many colors that circulate around the clouds. Now, are clouds real? Then you're like, I just asked you if it was blue, dude. But it's not really blue. All right. As your athletic director, I'm taking part in regular meetings with the president, blah, 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 blah. And then he said, I will never give up pursuing what our program needs. What I realized is I just copied and pasted this. There's nothing to this. He's giving us nothing.
Wait, go back to that last sentence.
I will never give up pursuing what our program needs to adequately represent the student-athletes. Didn't he do that by hiring Will Muschamp?
That's what I was going to say. He's still there.
That's what I was going to say.
You failed them first off. And
they go
now
4-8. He's still at the kid. You've completely failed them.
Can we get people like marching to get Muschamp out of South Carolina?
I would love to see that. Be safe and healthy. Other teams are like, no, man. You know teams like Florida and Tennessee, they don't want to see him leave. When you got some guy over there?
I think anybody does, outside of maybe Georgia.
What coach do you think the other coaches outside of Nick Saban in the SEC look at and go, ooh, I don't know if I want to play this guy?
Outside of Saban?
Mm-hmm. What coach would be the guy? Dan Mullen? Coach O now? He's got the thing going
I don't know
on.
if Coach O still strikes fear in people.
Well, he does as a person.
Oh, yeah, as a person,
I mean,
yes. I would probably go, not really Kirby Smart as much just because, his players strike fear in you, but
he's not a great in-game coach.
Crafty coaches, I look at Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
He's pretty crafty.
Kirby Smart's one of the best recruiters, and he also
Derek Mason at Vandy, yeah.
No, not at all. He looks like he's going to combat, but no, not at all.
I wish he'd go somewhere.
Jeremy
and be an awesome
Pruitt?
assistant.
You think Pruitt's got the wheels
Not
working?
yet.
No,
I don't think so.
We're talking SEC here.
But we still
Leach,
talk
Kiffin.
about. I think Leach may because he's nuts. Kiffin might because he'll steal your staff, steal your girl.
I know you were about to say Sam Pittman before I cut you off, but I'm not sure right now. If
no, I don't think Sam's on my list yet. Jimbo maybe. Just the more time Jimbo gets, the more creepier and the more.
Jimbo's always got
some.
something. Yeah.
He
That's what I'm
pulls some
saying.
sketchy
Yeah,
stuff
he's
around.
got something's about to happen. Yeah.
I think we,
So
and by
does
the way,
Taylor
we,
Jacobs, right?
we
Oh, sorry.
talk about Tennessee, but Tennessee still didn't have a very good season when you look at they did what they were supposed to with that schedule. Outside not even what they were supposed to.
Well, but the thing was
they still lost to Georgia Southern and BYU.
That's what I'm saying. If
So
they
they
didn't
should've
lose
done
if
better.
they didn't lose to Georgia Southern and BYU, wouldn't they have finished the season? Would they end up finishing 8-5? I think after the bowl game. If you don't lose to Georgia State and BYU at home, you're 9-3. 9-3. They'd be singing a little different in Rocky Top for that.
Yeah, they would, and still though, even if they finished 9-3, if you were honest and went back and looked at their schedule, you'd be like, I know they can't help that, but you'd be like, are we good?
Yeah, but the teams they lost to outside of those are the teams you would expect them to lose to. They lost to Florida,
right?
They lost to Alabama, and they lost to Georgia, correct?
Yes, I'm. I
think
I'm
that's
just double checking.
I think those are the three teams they
so
lost
too.
to. So if you lose to Alabama, Florida, and you lose to Georgia, you're sort of in the clear. But then they lost to Georgia State and BYU. That sort of ruined all of that.
Yeah, they lost to. Oh, that's not what. Yikes.
I think it's got to be Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
Yeah.
And they actually played Alabama pretty well.
Sad that I don't know this and I talk about them all the time.
It's got to be. I mean, those three.
8-5 last year.
Yeah, those are the
lost
three
to
outside.
Georgia State, lost to BYU,
Yeah, we
beat Chattanooga when everybody thought they were going to lose to Chattanooga.
Almost.
Got drummed by Florida, got drummed by Georgia.
Yep. Okay, so
squeaked
and they lost
by Mississippi State, lost to Alabama, beat South Carolina pretty handily, beat UAB, squeaked by Kentucky, squeaked by Missouri, and beat Vandy, and then beat Indiana in the bowl game 23-22.
That's right. That was
so if they would have won more, they wouldn't be playing Indiana, and they probably would have lost the bowl game.
By the way, which is crazy about that was the biggest comeback. In the final 5 minutes, they were down by 13 points, and they came back and beat Indiana. There was not one game the entire season last year where a team came back from down 13 points with 5 minutes left. That's insane to think.
National champions.
So maybe 2019 was giving us indications that there's going to be some like weak bro moments. That's not that. I mean,
or just could be Indiana, but yeah.
I love the shots of the people in the crowd after the game. There were some really good like 70s cover bands that were out there in Indiana. It was pretty funny. But
BYU finished last year.
What a non-sounding bowl game, like a college football. Indiana versus Tennessee.
Just horrible. Like you want to throw up in your mouth.
It does not sound like any type of intrigue or like they ever play each other.
Outside of the fan base, it's not a game where you go, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that matchup."
Yeah.
All right.
What bowl game has seemed to sound? Because remember, a lot of the games in Orlando, it's Big Ten versus the SEC. Or you have certain, the Rose Bowl, you're always going to get the champion out of the West Coast against the Big Ten champion usually. But what is the game that you always seem to hear in a bowl game? To me, I'll give you one. It always seems like Tennessee and Iowa always meet.
Yeah.
I think that seems like one that always Mississippi State versus Northwestern, something like that. You always go. Yeah, there seems like there's a couple teams that always get spotted against each other based on the ranks. Florida, Michigan, Alabama, Michigan. If they don't make the bowl game,
to go MAC, it always seems that Buffalo or usually it's Buffalo lately. Always is that team, I guess, to go to like Bahamas. I know that's obviously a MAC team goes there, but it's just so funny because it's like completely the opposite. But Buffalo always going there and. In the Bahamas, even people don't want to go watch because they're like, no thanks. You know what though? You say that Tennessee. I think the most fun.
It sounds like Tennessee, Iowa they've met the Outback Bowl like 10 times. It feels like, yeah.
Yeah, that Tennessee brought up a few years ago, and I've been to a ton of bowl games, but watching Tennessee, Nebraska, that was the most hatred I've ever been a part of. Like sitting in the middle, and I didn't wear anything in particular. People in the parking lots duking it out, just the most backwoods people you've ever seen. Of course, Nebraska fans, you know how that is. But I just thought that was...
I feel like Michigan and Florida have met a lot, too. That sounds like one
that seems like all the time.
Yeah, it does. That's what I'm saying. I know for a fact there's been two of them that I've been to.
What teams
Davis and Jordan, the guys, covered that last time. It was 2 years ago when Harbaugh was bitterly disappointed.
Oh, he still is. How about that?
He is. He's down the.
You know what? This is the year that Michigan beats Ohio State. This is it.
This is the year
because crazy things have happened.
That's right.
There you go.
Well, it might not be the year.
If he can't win it in 2020, he can never win it.
I don't think. Who knows? I hope we have a season. That's all I can say at this point.
I agree.
I'm not going to be the guy saying we're going to at this point because it's not about what we feel now. It's
nothing to do with us.
I can't believe I actually spent the time to write down what Ray Tanner said, and he really never said anything.
Has he said anything that's noteworthy?
I was thinking he was going to. Well, the headline says Ray Tanner is telling us when we're going to start. And the best he gave us was, we will communicate the plan in early August. So
there you go.
So that's, So what he's saying is...
Sankey said that the other day, though.
I know that, but what he's pretty much saying is, we're giving you nothing today, but...
Check in later.
Check in early August, and we might have something for you.
Yeah, we'll be back a little bit later on.
That's what we get.
So we're not going to hear from him until then. That's just his way of going on vacation. That's what it is.
It's, you know what it is?
We get an email if somebody's going to be out here in the office. That's his way of sending an email to everybody.
You know what it is? It's the call when you're on like 45 minutes with the bank or that number you don't want to call, trying to get a prescription or something, and that voice comes on just to annoy you a little more and was like, we appreciate your courtesy. And you're like, I'm not courteous right now. I'd love to but and then they go right back to the elevator music on you. You're like, I didn't need that voice. faking that I thought it was a human. You don't be a really like a horrible way sadistic a little, but mess with some people, like been waiting for 45 minutes, have a voice come on and go, like those answer machines that always get you, but like, hey, what's up? What can I help you with? And then they're like, oh, good, finally. I'm like, well, what I can help you with is 45 more minutes, and then just go right back in. Oh, man.
You ever do the voicemail that's like, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah. But it's okay on a voicemail because you're like, you know that guy. I hope you do. You're calling him. And then you're just like, you laugh. This, though, imagine 45 minutes on hold and you get that. Whew. Hey, what can I do for you? And if it's like something right up the alley, like it is a prescription medicine, be like, hey, what's your number order here on the prescription? What can I help you with? Actually, I need to put in. Just kidding. You're still on hold. Just go right back to the music.
Loser.
That's what Ray Tanner just did to us today. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Ray.
What? Why did I never realize Tennessee versus Kentucky was called the Battle for the Barrel?
Tennessee versus Kentucky.
I realized it was the Battle for the Barrel. I'm just looking at all these rivalry games because we talk about the civil war between Oregon and Oregon State now is changing, which they actually have talked about that for like I remember 10 years ago. This was something that they were mentioning. Obviously, wasn't as big a deal as it is now. But looking back at all these games, looking at which ones could have a possibility of changing.
Mm-hmm.
TC versus Baylor, the revivalry. Don't know what the heck that means. Georgia versus Georgia Tech, clean old-fashioned hate. No hate.
No, get it out of here.
No more hate.
Even Paul Bunyan's axe, man. That's a guy now. That is a big man walking with a animal that's not on a leash. He's got a big ox, and he's carrying he's got an axe in his hand. So he's an outlaw with a dangerous weapon and an unleashed animal. That should be at the either at a farm. It's unacceptable these days. Get it out of here. Paul Bunyan's axe.
The Battle of the Brothers, Beehive Boot. Utah versus Utah State. The heck?
The Beehive Boot?
The Beehive Boot. Never heard of that one. The Land of Lincoln Trophy. Nope.
Get it out of here.
There's some
Get them all out of here. Yule wash
battle.
boiler. How about the Yule wash boiler?
They just need to wash that thing, really.
Scambian PHS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The New Hampshire versus Maine, the battle for Bryce Cow musket. Nope.
Yeah, that's
that gun out of here.
Very dangerous.
How dare them? Yeah, there you go. The telephone trophy.
Listen.
Farmageddon, Iowa State versus Kansas State.
No.
Farmageddon.
Yeah, with mad cow disease and other things, that's got to go.
Alabama versus Tennessee, third Saturday in October. That's literally what it's called, the third Saturday in October. And then Utah versus BYU, the Holy War.
Well, see, but I have a problem with that. What's wrong with the second Saturday?
What's wrong with Saturdays?
That's what I'm saying. Why does it have to be the third?
Why does
that
Saturday?
Game have to be played on one day?
Why can't it be like the MAC games?
It's all
on
unacceptable.
Tuesday?
Get them all out of here. Every trophy out here.
I would love to watch that game on a Tuesday. It would free up some more time to watch other games.
Was there a response to I understand, even though I don't. We can have our opinions and disagree why the Gator, doing the Gator bait. But if you do Google the pictures, it's terrible stuff. I hope we all understand.
Is.
It's not good stuff. But that's not what they intended it for. But okay, the correlation. Okay. Understand. Even if you disagree, you can understand. Doak Campbell, I looked up everything. I think that was somebody just trying to, get attention. There wasn't enough. It was reaching. Yeah. Guy was he started the first women's school in 1888, and somebody's like, yeah, but there was ties. He lived in the South in 1888, and he was creating a school. So there was going to be moments where I'm sure anybody's name on anything since 1940, there's a good chance that there's some type of ties. I heard a guy on the news, no joke, and they said, well, he didn't even go to school with my grandfather. And I go, buddy, in 1940, segregation, you couldn't go to school with his grandfather. It had nothing to do with choices. Gene Stallings has said he couldn't play with other kids at the time. He said, we didn't have any black athletes on our school because we couldn't. Our schools in Texas were segregated.
Yep.
Gene Stallings is one of the most amazing human beings that loves everybody.
People, yeah.
Talks to George Teague and everybody, Antonio Langham, the same way he talks to every guy. And the difference is people just need to understand with a lot of that. But the Civil War, what I'm trying to figure out is where is the pathway of – because the Civil War was a moment that even though if you know history, it was fought over tariffs and all, it was a day that in 1865, it was the transition in ending slavery at that point. So why would we not want to remember that? I'm just confused. And it's your team, and you don't get the trophy because you guys have been crushing them lately.
It's fine.
Let's go ahead and take a break.
End on this note. Penn State versus Pittsburgh.
No, I said break.
Keystone Classic.
Oh, I love that. Bitter beer face.
Go get a key.
That's right. Come back for more.
O'Reilly Auto Parts has everything you need for summer car maintenance, and our professional parts people can help you find the best oil change supplies for your car. Get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life motor oil and a MicroGuard filter for $28.99, plus a $7 gift card after mail-in rebate. For your summer oil change, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
Hey guys, I know there's a lot going on right now in the world, and we're all shopping online. I just saw that AT&T started doing 2 really helpful things for those who want to buy a new phone or device online. They're offering fast, free, no-contact delivery and curbside pickup, so that online shopping is as simple and safe as possible. On top of that, they have a flexible return policy, so you can shop at ease. You can visit att.com to learn how to shop online from the safety of your home 24/7. Subject to change, restrictions apply.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Whether you're building a new home or considering a renovation, choosing the right construction partner makes all the difference. At Lacoste Construction Group, they pride themselves on client experience and true craftsmanship, specializing in both new construction and renovations for both commercial and residential projects. Lacoste Construction Group will deliver you a quality turnkey project and is with you every step from consulting and budgeting to design and engineering. Get started turning your home or business into the space of your dreams today at LacosteConstructionGroup.com.
You can watch Chad on the Sports Drive live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
To you right now, it's a force field. I wear my heart up on my sleeve like a big deal. Your love pours down on me, surround me like a waterfall. There's no stopping us right now. I feel so close to you right now.
Does every song during COVID sound worse? I feel so close to you right now. There's nothing stopping us right now. Both of those are invalid and need to be separated.
I just want to feel.
Just saying, every song.
You can't be
every
close,
single,
so you want to feel close.
If you did a song of how you're feeling, because like on a Friday, you're supposed to be jamming. This is a Fist Pump song. Turn it back up. Oh, you've already changed it, haven't you? Oh, see. I think we got like 5 seconds before it's a violation. Let's cut. All right, cut it right there.
There you go.
Don't want to bring back Napster with Metallica. You know what I'm saying? Coming at you.
Yes.
You remember Napster, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
LimeWire?
Yes, I do remember. Now you're going down, yeah.
Can't say anything else about LimeWire, but I might get in trouble.
There was another one, too, something. There was like 3 of them, too. Zeusk or something like... I don't know. Maybe that was just a
Zeusk. I'm not
FBI
Googling that.
FBI just is like, we're onto him now.
Yeah, you said Zeusk, and now they're like zoning in. I'm not looking that up because I don't know what the heck.
Somebody signed me up for a dating website when I was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I bet somebody signed you up.
This is true. I don't care.
Somebody.
Listen, but somebody actually, I didn't even know it was there. It was like if you have a MySpace page, and somebody goes in, like you get you got a new message on your MySpace page. Lycos and Alta Vista have Google. Babelfish. So they send so they sent us this thing. Anybody in their 20s is like, what are they even talking about right now? Lycos with the little puppy dog. You remember what I'm talking about here?
Yes.
So they sent me like a link, but it popped up, no joke. And I'm sitting there with Brittany, and it pops up like bling bling, and it says like you have a Zeus invite or whatever it is to this site. You have a match. Like, this has been 12 years ago. I had no clue, and I'm like, sorry. And they were like, do you live by the Henderson area? I'm like, not for 10 years. Thank you for this. Jeez. But got to get rid of these. You know, I would be the guy that leaves a dating site up on accident from 12, 13 years ago that didn't even know it was on there. It's a pretty cool picture of me. One of those rare back in shape. But no, none of that's here. So if you're on that fraudulent site, I don't even think the site exists anymore. Maybe they were closing and they were sending everything off, by the way.
I don't know. Zeusk.
Just got an email half off Noggin right here.
What?
Yeah, look at that. Right there.
Noggin.
Now we're
That's
really
the real deal.
Getting
Leighton
things
loves
going right
Noggin.
here. That's coming up. Cam Walker is going to join us here and talk some of what's going on right now around college football and some of the big stories, which is
none.
She's finding out like us. It's hard to find all those stories, but some of the key decisions to be made coming up for the fall semester about some classes as well. So it looks like at this point. There's going to be dates are set for people to have their commencement.
She doesn't have Clemson gear for us, so I'm a little upset. That's just going to throw that out.
I already have my national title gear from that year. Go Knights.
Yikes.
Travelers Championship right now. Phil Mickelson leading the way.
I knew it snuck in there. Look at him. Just doing the thing.
Look at him at the very top of the list. That's awesome right there. Good for you. Good for you, sir.
Just qualified and jumping in here going to win the thing.
He's beating Will Gordon. You know what's cool to see, though? You know what is cool, though? I'm looking because golf is the one that has the flags next to it. And pretty much every single flag on here is the United States, though. And at first I was like, oh, come on, man.
But then
America. I just realized that everybody else overseas is traveling right now. That's all it is. Like we've been getting crushed in the Ryder Cup and some of this stuff.
We have.
So, but I'm looking out here and I'm like, okay. You know, the funny part is the people that are playing over here, it's like Australians and New Zealand people who are like, I'm not messing with this, you know. We're going to go play.
Full stadiums over there.
They're not
they
playing.
Have full
Remember,
stadiums.
when everything else was happening, like they had to have people come on the field and pretty much tell them, like the Aussie rules football, like you cannot play anymore. These guys are like, we're not scared, you know.
So they had like no cases, and then they basically play with full stadiums, and they had like 2 cases that come up, and then they were like, nope, no we don't. And people are like, you just did, and they're like, nope. I wonder what happened to those
There's
people.
like 8,000 things that can kill you in Australia, like leaving
Way
your
worse.
home. Like you just
In
like
your
leave,
home.
you go to get the
It can break in
newspaper
your
and there's
home.
like a black mamba waiting for you, a snake.
What about those spiders and stuff they have over there?
All of it, yeah. Even the
geez.
oceans are all sharks and
I couldn't do it.
barrier reefs.
No.
Somebody's like, very peaceful country. How dare you? Like, no, that is, and they don't like Fosters, by the way, either. That's not.
I know, that is true.
It's like if you go to Mexico, they don't drink Coronas either. Does anybody?
probably a reason
I
they
am
don't
the guy that
drink
gets.
Coronas.
Remember, I've been doing that for a long time, and now I feel like that guy.
People are like,
I sort of look like that guy today in a waiter shirt, but imagine like if you see me today in this shirt with a Corona, be like, look at that guy. He's trying to be that guy. Not trying to be at all, but
like you should be working at Jackson
not the same.
Steakhouse downtown.
Well, first off, I'm not going to be able to get any of that today because there's no more bars. It's just saying.
It's a shame.
That's a shame, yeah. It's a shame Jack can't get his Friday night happy
Overall,
hour on.
just nice to go back to the bar.
It would be nice. It would be very nice at this point. Travelers Championship, though. Phil Mickelson right now in the lead.
Traveling.
13 under par. Oh, he's done 64-63. How about that right
That's
there?
all right, I guess.
He's even in shape. Is anybody not in shape in the tour? Looking at the
Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, he's both of him. NBA moving forward. Nothing is risk. Man, we're getting some real like political, straightforward answers from people today. Ray Tanner says, check back in August and we'll have a possibility of more information for you.
He didn't say anything.
He didn't. And then NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who I do respect. I actually think he does a great job. He does look like Nosferatu floating up there. Like he's about to attack you. But Adam Silver said that his plan to restart is the best. Can you see him in the post, by the way, against Shaq?
I know. I see him floating down the court.
I can see him, yeah.
Like just barely levitating and floating down the court.
Him and Jeff Bezos just together. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says the restart plan, the best option right there. But he said with the ongoing situation right now, he goes, we know that COVID-19 will be with us for the foreseeable future. And we are left with no choice but to learn to live with the virus. Wow, this is getting real.
That's actually
that's a real sci-fi channel right
People
there.
aren't going to like that,
yeah.
But it's true. It's the same thing with the flu. It's here forever. Colds, whatever. They're never going away now. They're here. They're implemented in our system, and there you go. I mean, people act like this virus is just going to go away, and people do act like too. We have to remember this as well, and not everybody when I say this, but that getting a vaccine is going to solve every one of our problems. No, we're still going to get it. It will help, obviously. But it's still here to stay.
We're going to get the Korea street sprayers. You see those guys with the full takes?
Yes.
Are we moving towards that? Is any state those guys? They look like they're not playing games with those. Like the full out tanks of like the spraying for everything going on. I have no clue if it's. You used to work for a company that does stuff like that, like for cleaning. But I just imagine trying to imagine pulling up to a friend's house or about to grab dinner and you see them walking the street. I'm probably leaving. I'm getting out of there.
What about dropping something from like a plane that's resembles like a bomb-like structure, but when it covers your city?
You mean the murder hornets? The Hornets?
No, not them. By the way, just a quick thought. I know we got to go to break, but with the murder hornets showing up and then disappearing, it's almost like it's like the Truman Show. They're up top watching all of us right now.
They're waiting.
And they went, oh, I didn't mean to mash that button. Oh, crap. Well, if we bring them back now, it's going to be too obvious. Just let them stay for a couple weeks. All right, now bring them back. All right.
They're not gone. I mean, if somebody brought them up and then they just completely disappeared, they're not. They're just the next in line on the agenda.
They need to attack Seattle right now.
You know how you can actually schedule a post on Facebook? We're scheduling them on the news for August. They're waiting. They're waiting in line right now.
Looks like the ALB. It'll be back too. We're bringing it back.
2003 class ring here, baby. This is district champion. Let's go ahead and take a break on that note. And
ALB,
baby.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
I'm Mina Kimes, host of ESPN Daily. Each morning, we bring you a deep dive into a single story from one of ESPN's hundreds of reporters. It's the best of ESPN Daily. ESPN Daily is presented by Marathon. Right now, you can get 5 cents off every gallon every day with Make It Count rewards from Marathon. It's quick and easy to join. Just download the free Make It Count app or go to makeitcount.com/radio and start saving today. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Football season never ends on Talk Football with Coach K.
Stidham is tearing it up at New England. He may well be the incumbent to Tom Brady there.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Coach K brings his expertise as he breaks down the game, the players, the coaches, and the front office. Plus, high-profile interviews from the biggest names in football. Talk Football with Coach K every weekday from noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
An auto policy from State Farm gets you collision coverage. And this radio ad from State Farm gets you coverage of this beloved 90s hit.
I hit a car. I hit a car. I hit a car. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. My agent's gonna help me.
For more coverage, visit statefarm.com.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Drive. 5:56 on this Friday evening out there. The NBA moving forward. Nothing is risk-free, but they have set their date to begin July 30th, getting everybody in the bubble at Disney and making it happen. Magical times.
Yeah, we'll see. Did you see this, by the way? Look at this. So he goes off. And
Did I
that's
see a
his
TV
dad.
that's behind me?
No, watch this, though. Look, that's
that
his
Jay
dad.
Leno?
That's his dad. Watch this. Look, this is his mom. And she's up here
Uh-oh.
chewing him out. She is
Whoa.
mad. This tennis player, a professional tennis player, getting chewed out by his parents on the court. That is great.
That lady looked ticked.
That's the Karen you got to watch out for. And if they ask for your manager, you're over with. Yeah, how about those guys? People listening on radio are like, what? Well, even people on TV are just like, what in the world is going on? Well, just to give you an idea, we're talking about the not top 10, not that anybody cares.
Yeah, tennis right now. That's
about the only thing ESPN puts on that's
Poirier.
worth watching right
Look
now.
at Poirier versus Hooker coming up here in UFC fighting.
That is so inappropriate.
It's the name.
It's still inappropriate. Don't look at me like that. Like you didn't know what you were getting into when you looked at me.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare me? Can I go home now?
Was it inappropriate when Jim Irsay signed Malik Hooker?
Yes.
I mean, Jim Irsay. But
That's the Jim Irsay part, yes.
Jim
He
Irsay
needed to go a long time ago. The Malik Hooker part is fine, but signing him was
the
great.
newspaper.
Oh, geez, no.
I'm just saying, when the newspaper says Irsay can never pass on good Hooker, and he can't with Malik, though. He was a great player. He's a great player. Jim's had his moments, but overall, when it comes down to yes, he has. How do you get arrested for drugs, though?
Oh, my God.
When
I don't know.
This is not the moral of the story that people want like for me to take down. But when you have $1 billion, how do you get stopped with like a bag on you, like in a car, and not like have a fall guy? I mean, I'm sorry, this is terrible, but I'm just saying, like when you have. He's worth like $5 billion. How do you get pulled over in a random stop like you're heading?
Did we ever get to this?
Because you made me look at the TV.
Why is this?
You just made me look at the TV right here. Oregon State, Civil War dropped. Morehead State will not be playing. It doesn't look like they're playing football this year. Got to cancel my season tickets.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, well, we'll talk some college football as Cam Walker will join us here on a Friday. We'll get some more on the latest in July. Looks like NBA is coming back. Major League Baseball, who knows? They have a date.
Emmett Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. It's across the middle, and it's caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Baldwin beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 for Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time His name is Bubba. Emma scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Chad Brillante in today's catering waiter shirt today. I'm just the attire here. Joining us as well is Cam Walker in our second hour, as she has been on the show, University of Clemson, and a true pro. I just have fun up here. But Cam, it's great to see you, and happy Friday.
I know, happy Friday.
I know Fridays are a lot like Mondays these days in the world. You're not exactly, like, hey, what are we doing? Well,
yeah.
Shoots and ladders with the family or something. But overall, it's been quite the experience coming down from Clemson, though. What has been one of the things that you've seen down here? And it's not a huge transition. I transitioned from Vegas to here. Like that's a big change in style. You you go from fist pumping to EDM music to coming. Not that I did any of that. I just wanted to sound cool for a second. Calvin Harris, man. And then we would go down here and you're on the more of a
chill vibe.
Chill, yeah. Go on the beach with a used to be a Corona. We don't do that anymore. But overall, it's one of these kind of things where it's a big transition. What's been the biggest transition though, from going over to from Clemson to here?
Well, Clemson is just like Pensacola right now. They are now making mask mandatory within the city. So I guess it's not a huge...
I don't know why I said uh-oh. That's a good thing, but I'm sorry about that.
I guess it's not a huge transition because both South Carolina and Florida are such hot spots. And so I came from South Carolina and now back here. I mean, it's really sad that the numbers are spiking again, but...
I mean, at this point, though, I just hope and pray that everything's all right.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do. I mean, we can also do our part, but I'm just saying... I've stayed away from the news. I listen in. News radio downstairs does a great job. Mm-hmm. I pay attention to the details, but, even in sports, I was watching ESPN the other day, and I just, for my own personal, I looked at the bottom of the screen, and I waited for a sports story, and 19 stories went by, and not one sports story. Right now, if you go over there, it will say Blue Jays sorting out where to play. Like, the Blue Jays are like, we're going to go to Florida, and we don't want to go to Florida now. We can't allow teams to go across the border to Canada, so we're not sure what we're going to do. But I understand that's the times we're in because there aren't the major sports going on. But it's okay to be like, hey, I'd like to have something on the games. I'd like to talk about this. And that's just, where we're at right now overall. Looking at some of the stuff that we talked about as well, one of the things that you were talking about earlier was the kids getting back and having an opportunity to be back on campus. You were talking about, and that announcement was made.
Yeah, so Clemson tweeted out today that the university is going to order 70,000 face masks. So everybody's going to have two, one for the wash, one to wear constantly. And we have to get tested within 5 days of returning to campus, all employees, students, and negative, good to go. Positive, they're going to have you quarantined, and I'm sure professors are prepared for that. But the thing that I'm really waiting for is, the changes to the academic calendar. So universities like University of South Carolina announced back in May, they were really early announcing this, that they will not have a fall break. They will have school on Labor Day and be virtual after Thanksgiving. And a lot of the schools have picked up that plan too, like Georgia and Auburn. So I'm just waiting on a plan like that. But, I mean, it seems like we're going to get back. We're just kind of, some regulations. It
seems like that. It seemed better a couple of weeks ago, and now it's, that, and that's the hardest part is, today Morehouse State decided, frankly, none of us, I think the first thing a lot of people said, and it's okay, it's Trust Tree, the Nest part of the show, is that I didn't know Morehead State had a football team. Okay, that's great. But but them making the decision, it's not more about the accolades of their wins and losses, is that a school decided to pull their football program. Now, I think you're going to see a lot of smaller colleges do this when you talk about their financials, because we got to understand that a lot of colleges, when it comes to financial well-being, they're going to lose a ton of money this year. And a lot of teams, like what we saw with UAB in Alabama, they pulled their football team a couple years ago. And you're talking about Birmingham has one of the number one markets, if not the number one market, when it comes to college football. But that money goes down the road for a couple roll tides in Tuscaloosa. So sometimes it gets to a point where you're going to have a lot of these colleges that have to decide whether or not they're going to have the money. Just like minor league baseball is not being played this year, even though Major League Baseball has set a date to return, because the minor league teams can't afford to go through a season. Now, guys like, what Quentin Rishi and the folks here at Pensacola, we're lucky to have incredible owners that also have the fans behind them, the support, and they could play. There's some teams that could play. A lot of teams can't. I mean, right down the road in Mobile, the Bay Bears had to cancel that. They were going to have a season anyway. They're done. And minor league baseball, I called minor league baseball in Las Vegas, and you don't get the kind of money because you don't get the TV deals.
Right.
You still have to pay a bunch of guys contracts that you're not selling $75, $80 tickets. You're selling $15 tickets or $5 ticket night out in right field. So it's a big difference out there. And for Morehead State, when people hear this and go, uh-oh, they immediately did this for the safety of the kids. Okay, maybe that was part of it. And Atlanta, a lot of major cities, Atlanta, Chicago, there are going to be cities that you'll see it getting pulled quicker because of the number of cases. But also we need to understand, there was somebody looking at those books and saying, all right, without fans or trying to get back into it, we're going to take about a $2 million hit. We can't afford this. Let's go ahead and drop the season. And that's going to be the case. And I hope all these kids, though, what do you think, though, if something like this happened and the football season does continue? Because the course of action, and I know you were talking earlier to me, University of Tennessee with Philip Fulmer.
I think he may be a little too optimistic.
He's always been a little more like, I'm in control. He thinks he has a little more power.
A full stadium? 102,000 fans?
I mean, dating back to Johnny Majors in Tennessee, he's been the kind of guy, the late Johnny Majors who passed this year. But he's always... Philip Fulmer has been a little bit about Philip Fulmer. I met him one time at a chicken place down in Orlando, Florida. He's a nice guy, but overall he's always sort of made it about him, and I feel like he has a little too. And I think Tennessee fans will tell you too. He feels like he's that status of what Joe Paterno or Bobby Bowden was to their schools, where it's almost that untouchable status. Like Nick Saban, I mean, they could go. He's not. This is taboo even saying this on air, on any airwaves here, but they could go 0-11, 0-12. And he's still going to have his job no matter what. There's some of that untouchable realm where they're not going to get fired. Dabo Swinney is not going to get fired at Clemson unless, the media keeps going down a path where right now he's a good guy. But overall, we need to understand, though, with Tennessee, is Philip Fulmer feels that way. And I think when he says, he talked today about he thinks full capacity. They're ready to go.
Well, I'm glad he's happy, but I don't know about that.
Is Tennessee still full capacity, losing to Georgia State? And I'm just kidding.
I know. Not to throw some shade at some teams, but I don't think some will have to worry about their capacity. It was already low from seasons.
Look, you can pull off I know that's the Clemson orange there, but, hey, if somebody came up to you and was like, you know what, for a Tennessee girl like you that's on the house tonight, like a full meal, and you're like, go Vols, all right.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably do that.
I would too.
Have you been in the Tennessee Stadium?
I have been to Neyland before, and it was a good game. It was when Florida, and I went with my dad, and actually did not go with my dad. If he's listening, he's like, I didn't take that game. But I did go to a game. We went sailgating with some friends, and it was a Florida versus Tennessee game, and I want to say 2003, but they were still in their prime. During the 90s, do you know that they played in between Tennessee and Florida? That game decided who won the SEC East 9 out of the 10 times they played. And 5 times they had that game decided who would be in the top 3 in the nation.
I did not.
I mean, they always, when it was the days of Danny Werfel and Peyton Manning and some pretty decent names. But those Tennessee-Florida games back in the day were huge. The way that LSU and Alabama have been of late, the way Clemson versus somebody in the ACC, I guess, have been. Who's the team to you when you look at, would it be Florida State still?
Yeah. I say so.
Do you talk to people down here that went to Florida State? I'm sure that you
they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't right now.
But it's a weird analogy. But I tell people who haven't been in Neyland Stadium that it's like I've only been in it once, but I feel like I'm a piece of cereal in a cereal bowl because it's so. I like how you can see buildings and land and outside of the stadium, and all you can see is the sky in Neyland. It's kind of crazy.
It is, and it's a huge. I mean, it was. Before a lot of these other stadiums added seats, like Ben Hill added seats in Florida, LSU added a bunch, but Tennessee was the largest stadium in the SEC for a while. And then Kyle Field had a whole renovation. I think Texas A&M, Kyle Field is the biggest stadium. I think that or the Big House in Michigan. But Michigan's Big House looks a little different because it's almost the way that the Coliseum's kind of, it's that flat, low, so you can see for miles where – some of the high-riser stadiums, like a Bryant-Denny or some of the ones that go way up, it looks bigger. And Neyland Stadium is one of those. But back in the day, I mean, it's still a good atmosphere, but back in the day, it was one of the more fun. I guess Philip, as the athletic director right now currently, can make some decisions because ultimately, I think a lot of the crowds are going to be regulated based on the decisions of wherever you're at. But there will be some NCAA regulations. And just like bars and restaurants right now, you can still put people, if you can have 50% capacity, you can still you do what you want to adjust. Do you take out more seating? Do you make it smaller? Do you put more outside? Do you put everybody up front? What do? Everybody can make their own decision for that to the guidelines of 50%. And then there's some that's just not going to follow it. And they're like, hey, we've been here since 1940. Just come on in. ATF shuts us down. That's what happens. But it's one of these kind of things with football is we don't know the answer, but apparently Philip Fulmer does today. So there you go. Looking at some of the other things to talk about, when it comes down to college football at this point, we don't have all the answers, but there are some schools I know that have some different plans, like South Carolina, Clemson, and Georgia. I know that was something that you talked about, the different types of plans for updates of what their plan is for the fall for school.
Yeah.
But then, now, do all of those teams, though, have to be on campus in order to play sports? Because that was one of the things the NCAA talked about.
No, I don't have the answer to that.
No, I think one of the things was that the NCAA talked about you have to be back on campus in order to play fall sports. I think that was more of an obvious thing, but I guess a lot of these off-campus places, they're going to do a lot. Are they doing more online courses? I feel like this old guy that doesn't know all the things. I've been in college.
I mean, they're definitely offered, so it's definitely an option.
So are more of your classes they're going towards online, even within?
Are you saying if it comes down to it?
I'm just saying in general. Are the classes that used to be like the 300 auditorium classes?
No, they're still in person.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, that's cool. I didn't go to those classes anyway, but never mind. Shh, no. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I'm setting the wrong example here for the kids.
I would say a handful of online. There's not as many online as in person.
Yeah, I never liked the online classes. Because I didn't show up. You're in
all.
college and you're getting people like, hey, at everybody's meeting down there. We're gonna have a fun day today. There's a concert going on, and then you're like, but I have a 2:00 online class. Be like, how do they know? Be like, well, I'll be there, and then
you don't get the same out of it.
No.
The Zoom, so they do Zoom, or they did when we concluded this past semester, and the classes are so big, they're not making it mandatory. I have a friend that goes to Wofford, and when we were all home for quarantine, she had to be in her Zoom class because she has 12 people. At Wofford, it's a 1,200 student school, so it's just different.
The Terriers right there.
The Terriers, yeah.
Wofford Terriers. Always be the pride of winning that big game against Kentucky and having a good season. I know you personally know the family. And,
I do. They're a great family.
That's awesome. They're doing a good job, and now in the you're in the ACC. It's did you get to?
I applaud him.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys did a great interview the other day.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
Did you guys have when it comes down to playing? Does Virginia Tech and Clemson? Are you at that game down there?
So it was our first game this past basketball season, and I was actually working it. So being neutral and everything. It was pretty hard. Like family friend Clemson, but of course you gotta go. Your school.
Okay.
But I wish he beat us, obviously, both times. But I always want the best for him.
And for the people that don't know, we just got into the conversation, but Mike Young is
Mike
the coach we're talking about. And your family, is it his daughter that you're friends with? Or?
Yes, we're the same age. Yeah, grew up together.
Cool. That is cool. He's a good coach. I mean, he's a good coach.
Oh, yeah.
There are some coaches, Steve Forbes, who is also the name of the guy who started the Forbes magazine. But he's Steve Forbes, who's a millionaire in his own now. But he is the coach of Wake Forest now. He's now in the ACC as well. But Steve coached East Tennessee State, and he led them to an average of a 27-5 record for the 6 years he was there. But he used to coach at Northwest Florida State down in Niceville, and I called the games for the Panhandle Broadcasting and did some of the games for him. But you could tell he was a really good coach.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some guys, yeah. College basketball, I think out of every sport, I think it's fair to say out of every sport, a college basketball in-game coach might be the most important. It truly can. I mean, because
I agree.
I mean, in college football, it's important, but you have so many coordinators. Think about it. If you have a good offensive coordinator, a good defensive coordinator, there are teams like Miami that had Larry Coker. I'll say this, and if you're out there, Larry Coker seems a really nice guy, but he's a terrible coach in my opinion. But he won a national title. Gene Chizik, he seems like he's got his head on straight when he's doing I think he's a great broadcaster, but they wanted a leader, not a loser, when that guy yelled it off the plane with Jay Jacobs when he brought him in. Gene Chizik won with Cam Newton where they won 7 games by less than 7 points that year and found a way to win a national title. Gene Chizik was out of a job in a couple years after that. Just because you win a title doesn't make you one of the elite coaches of all time. It's the resumes sometimes and the team around you. If you're a good recruiter, that's the one thing. If you can recruit the big guys, then you can win. College basketball, though, you're making decisions, and how many of those teams like a Tony Bennett at Virginia, every year Virginia seems like they're relevant to win. Virginia's not getting the same players as Duke, as Arizona, as some of these other schools, and they win they're right there in the mix every single season. And sometimes if you have that philosophy like Jim Boeheim had at Syracuse, or you have that style that you play, college basketball, you can be good for a very long time, and you see that with Mike Young's teams. They've been doing a good job. It's a little tougher though, I know, in the ACC to win.
I know, that's what he made very clear to me.
You go to the Clemson basketball games?
I do. I love good basketball games.
But basketball's a fun environment.
It is.
Yeah. UCF went with like a black top on it. It wasn't. It was like you were outside on the end.
Huh.
Okay. Michael Jordan's son went there, and they got all excited, and they started putting some money. Michael had a little left.
That makes sense.
A couple dollars. They weren't too happy with the Adidas brand, though, apparently. So he wasn't there anymore. When we come back, we're going to talk some NBA basketball as some of the cases and when they get set to play coming up here on July 30th. We'll get to more on what's going on right now with some of the news locally here as we will talk getting into some of the teams back right now in high school. UWF, as they're right around the corner from getting back on the practice fields. And we'll also get into more on Morehouse has now decided to scrap their football program. What will that mean for the future? Or is it just Morehouse that none of us listening probably had season tickets? We're coming back for more Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and on Blab TV.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
Ferocious flavor has landed at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. It's bold, it's different, it's refreshing, it's dragon fruit. We're using real dragon fruit to blend up our fearsomely flavorful new dragon fruit smoothie. Try one today, paired with a fan favorite Super Green Caesar chicken wrap or a Chipotle Chicken Club flatbread for a powerfully tasty combo. Slay your cravings at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, dilly dilly. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
JP here. At ESPN Pensacola, we are hometown proud. Like the greatest pound-for-pound boxer of all time, Roy Jones Jr.
Three-time light heavyweight world champion and former heavyweight champion of the world, future Hall of Fame legend, Roy Jones Jr.
What up? It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
Southeast Mortgage of Pensacola, your local mortgage lender. From first-time home buyers to refinances and all of life's major moments in between, Southeast Mortgage will help you and your family achieve home ownership. Proud to be part of the Pensacola community, Southeast Mortgage began more than 27 years ago and has a team of professionals right here in Pensacola with more than 75 years of combined experience. Get pre-approved in just minutes. Apply anywhere on any device by visiting southeastmortgage.com.
The latest news and sports can be heard on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Get the latest news and football on Talk Football with Coach K. Daily sports talk on your drive home on The Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante. And a recap and look ahead of the sports week on Sports Call with Davis and Justin every Saturday. Plus, national sports radio talk on Golic and Wingo, The Dan Lebertard Show with Stu Gotts, and The Paul Feinbaum Show. It all lives on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
I ain't rich, but I damn sure wanna be. Working like a dog all day ain't working for me. I wish I had a
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Chad Brilliante, Cam Walker joining us, as she does each and every week, to talk some sports with us, hang out. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday. I always got to be careful now with the songs. You know, you just never know. Like the next one in line was Dixieland Delight. Now that used to be a good foot. I love that.
No, I did too.
But
you
just don't know if you can play it. I'm just saying.
It's sad.
I don't wanna... You saw when Dixie was talking about pulling their stores. No joke, with their name. Not pulling their stores, but changing their name of their store.
No, I didn't, but did you see the Dixie Chicks? Pulled out
oh, yeah, I
Dixie,
did see that, yeah.
Just the Chicks.
You know, it's the times, and that's why I got into talking sports, just sort of smiling. But, you know, it is what it is. So that's all I'm going to say there. It's I'm learning, right? Is that what they say in the
We
business?
all
Is
are.
just sort of no more, just continue to get into all the great sports going on. Right now, talking about the I'm not talking about this. It's just that Darius Leonard addresses altercation at Chipotle. I'm not even going down that path. But talking about the basketball, they're expecting to play. They've got everything set. They're talking about right now 8-game schedule in to get things rolling. That's when they come back. There'll be an 8-game schedule, and then they'll get into the playoffs. But they tested, and they found 16 players out of 302. Talk a little bit, though, about what your expectations or what you see from the college and the NBA game.
Well, I was surprised about those numbers, but surprised in a good way. I'm very happy that they're so low. I mean, that's only about 5% of the NBA players. I know they have a little bit more testing to do.
Good math there. Way to throw out math. We don't do that a lot on this show. We just sort of
I think it's 5.3.
And now you're getting too technical.
But anyways, so they're going to be in the bubble, and I think it's really looking up for NBA. I mean, they're going to keep each other just intact with each other, not going outside the bubble, you know, playing. And, I mean, it's a good number. I mean, if we look at LSU, 30 out of 115, and it's just an update today, recently, that 14 more players at Clemson, so it's 37 total. But only 19 are active, so the rest are back to workouts, and they've completed their 10-day quarantine time. But still, and the
10-day, wasn't it 14? Did we cut it? Is it 10 for them?
10-day minimum.
Okay.
10-day minimum.
It's like every day goes down. We've done our 3-day quarantine. Wait a second, 3 days.
I won't be spilling anything. That's just what I read.
That was like, stop. Yeah.
But the scary thing is that
Mike Gundy gives you a 30-minute quarantine. Get back on the field. Go have lunch and shake it off.
You're
Mike
good.
Gundy, you're good, man. Coach, I gotta go to the hospital. 30 minutes, man. That's I can see.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
The scary thing is, though, that nearly half with Clemson are asymptomatic, and I'm sure that's the case with all of them. And so with football season coming up, and let me say all the sporting events coming up, NBA, MLB, the scary thing is limiting the ability to control the virus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't know you have it, and you can spread it to more people, they don't know, I mean.
But people need to understand right now one thing more than anything. It's not just going to magically disappear once everybody gets it. It's not. It's not like when you graduate, you get to put a diploma, and then like for the rest of your life, if somebody's like, "Did you graduate?" You're like, "There it is." Like at that point, it doesn't mean once you graduate, then the rest of your life you have that diploma. Like once you get it, does not mean that the rest of our lives we're all free from it. It is something that we don't know. We don't know, and that's why getting the vaccine or all this stuff, and even with the flu shots, how many people sitting there like, well, I got the flu shot, but I still got the flu. It's not always perfect on that. Now, most people advise getting the flu. There's some people that say it's not good because of the possibility of polio or all this other. Who knows? Everything. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's ever going to agree perfectly, but what we do need to know is we need to adapt and we need to figure it out together. And we do it with, number one, do it with safety involved, but also do it with logic, which is not easy for everybody to do, but to do it with logic involved, meaning that we can play football. If you're asking me these questions, can you play football? Yes. Can you play baseball? Yes. Now, can you play like we knew in 2019? No. We've got to figure that out, meaning I don't think Philip Fulmer just saying we're expecting everybody to be back in the fan. That's not the right way to look at it. But also, if we're taking everything from the state of Tennessee, that's also probably not the right path to go down always as well.
I think fans should be the last thing that they, check off the checkbox. I think they should work their way up to having, half capacity or, whatever the capacity is, the smart way. But I don't think they should be like Fulmer or whoever else should be focusing on fans at this point.
And I don't think everybody doesn't know the answers, but also the reactions a lot of people will take is like today when the announcement was made that Morehouse has scrapped football. That does not mean that means that college football is over. A lot of times people will see that. When they saw Clemson was one of the first ones to report 23 cases, and then LSU came out with 30. Immediately, everybody's like, football season's over. That's not what it means. It means that those people have gone to quarantine, and the 16 players in the NBA, they're going to isolate, and then they'll be back playing.
Yeah.
And if you get ahead of it, I'd rather see these stories personally coming out in June and July than in August, and you got a week to figure it all out.
Exactly.
So right now, the players that if you know that you have a roster of 85 or 100 people and you're sitting there and 23 have tested positive, and then the rest of the players, that means if you've got 80, that means the other 57 didn't. Well, then the 57 is, okay, you guys need to be, at this point, we're keeping an eye on you. You're not going to be going out to those. And you're 20, but you're in college. I mean, to tell a bunch of people in college that are finally getting their wings free to be able to spread and become adults. And you learn. You don't always, there's a bucket list for me, and I'm glad that we didn't have cell phones, all the stupid things I did. But overall, I'm still 35 and I'm doing stupid things. But overall, you need to understand, though, that college is where you figure a lot out and you make decisions for yourself. And the last thing college kids want to be told is what to do when they feel like they can make the right choices. So when you tell all these kids that you can't go out and have a drink with your friends, or you can't go to that concert, you can't go see the Darius Rucker or one of these bands and have fun but you bought tickets for it, and the concert's still going on.
It's hard.
It's really hard, and that's the answer. Is in a perfect world, where you're watching some Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where you're putting people in machines and you get to have them over there and then you get to push a button when football season's here and have them walk out and be like, yes, they're all good to go. That's not the world we live in today, and really have never been that way. So it's going to be one of those situations where people are going to make choices and the numbers are going to happen. It's going to happen where even if a team comes back where all the tests are clean, that doesn't mean the next week that somebody's not going to get it.
You never know.
And it's not going to – and when it does, I think PGA Tour has handled it. PGA Tour has some of the smarter people out there running it, but the PGA Tour is somebody that, that they came out and Brooks Koepka's caddy got it this week. So Brooks Koepka decided, I'm not going to play. He said, since I've been around my caddy, out of the respect for the people around it, and also golf, you get a lot of people, elderly gents out on the course that are a little bit, you got to be wary. And golf courses, a lot of the volunteers, a lot of the people in the clubhouse, it's an older man's game for the most part. There's not, a lot of people in their 60s and 70s go out to already self-isolate for years playing golf. Now, they don't want to, he wants to respect. I hope everybody does. If I knew I had it, I would, if I found out today, I'd immediately text you and JP and be like, I had it. Sorry, you might want to check out and get tested too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't feel like I'm putting your life in jeopardy because I know what it is right now. Mm-hmm. At the same time, if there was somebody walking by in their 70s and did that, I would feel terrible. And if I knew I had it, I wouldn't be showing up to work. I would call and do the right appropriate steps. Mm-hmm. But there's zero chance that we're just going to be able to control everything. And even with the NBA, they say right now, well, they've got it solved because they're going to figure out to have everybody in the bubble. Once again, you have a bunch of 20, 21-year-old guys that just made $20 million contracts. And they've got girlfriends, and they want to go out and they want to do things. And you think that, and you're in Disney, and you're in Orlando with all of these attractions, because everybody thinks it's all for I grew up in that area, and not everything is Disney rides and puppet shows with Mickey. You got a lot of their House of Blues is right down the street. You got all this stuff going on, and they're all reopening. Mm-hmm. So there's a ton of stuff out there in Orlando, even where right now, if you do go out, the cases are on a rise in Central Florida more than ever. But to tell all the players that, hey, they're just, they're in a bubble, so they obviously are just going to stay in their room every night, curfew, and they're never going to go out. There's
think too highly of everyone.
People just can't be shocked when the games get going. I'm looking at the schedules, the NBA. They're showing the schedules right now. All of the their notable players right now, mm-hmm. Nikolai Jokic and Malcolm Brogdon and Buddy Hield and some of the guys that test positive. But that does not mean that list right there, once they go over to Orlando and they start practicing, that is the final list.
Right.
But if somebody gets it to go back to the PGA, what Brooks Koepka did is saying, I'm not going to play in the tournament, but they didn't shut down the PGA. They're still playing right now. Phil Mickelson's in the lead. Mm-hmm. So if you do get it, you isolate, but the season goes on. And sadly, if a LeBron James or someone gets it, then they're still going to play. And some teams are going to have one of those kind of players like a Giannis, mm-hmm. and I'm not saying he, and I don't wish ill will for him to get it,
right.
But somebody like that gets it, and they're going to be like, well, we're not the same team without him. Well,
just got to work.
Yeah.
Through it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like one of those, if you get mono, if you end up getting mono and you go, everybody at school, like Sam Darnold, the quarterback, got it for the New York Jets this year. We know what mono is. It's, you get it from kissing, and it's not a fun one. But if you go and you have mono, you sort of, people are like, well, you sort of, I know how you got it. Don't try to, so just like this, if somebody comes back and they are in the bubble and somebody gets the coronavirus,
they're going to know how you got
exactly.
it.
Be like, oh, okay, everybody else is,
right.
When we all entered, everybody was okay. And now you got it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you either got to tell us, own up, or you're not going to play this week.
Yeah.
So there's going to be choices to be made, but it goes back to responsibility and accountability.
Right. Well, maybe the announcement of the bars closing in the state of Florida will help the case in Orlando and the
because there'll be no Friday house parties tonight, not one. I'm not saying I am. When I say this,
good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
I mean,
it's not like the liquor stores or.
I could speak on behalf of this, not because I go home tonight and we're going to have a dance party and probably watching Frozen 2 again and playing board games and hanging out in our backyard and doing things like that. I realize bubbles, don't blow too many bubbles because those are just like little little pieces of flying coughs coming at people all over the town. You see these bubbles, which used to be cool with kids, and now like, run in the house. No. Kids are blowing bubbles at the park, like, no, Grandma. But overall, it's funny. But somebody's out there like, don't blow bubbles near me. But we also do a lot of events, and we're at a lot of sports bars, and we know a lot of people, so we see this. And I'm not. You are in college. You're a perfect example of somebody that can talk on behalf of, that the kids, everybody right now, all your friends, they're not all just being like, well, they told us we have to stay, so we're just going to sit in our rooms all night. It's not going to work that way. And
Sometimes not the reality.
No, so we got to be real with it, but we also got to understand that people have that. And when you see somebody testing positive, that doesn't mean that one person's actions need to shut down the whole league. And get in front of it. But also, they don't need to be playing basketball if they have it. They need to be isolating.
Well, they need to take their priorities and realize what is number one, and right now for them is basketball.
Yeah. For Morehouse, canceling the season was the decision they made. And, this is it's a historically black college in Atlanta, and they had the coronavirus pandemic. And, obviously, too, the timing right now with the players after what happened with the protests, which, like I said, peacefully. Yesterday I was driving through. We were grabbing some fast food, pick up a meal, and drove through the graffiti bridge. And people were out there still peacefully protesting out there. And I roll down the window and honk and wave. And you know what? Those people that are still out there at the bridge after a couple weeks, that's not getting the press every single day of what we're seeing in the news. That to me, that shows a lot.
They really care.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not to say that everybody didn't care the first day, but when you're up there for a couple of weeks and you're not doing it for the photo op, or the people the GoFundMe pages where the guy drops $10,000 and the name's anonymous, those people, their heart truly, like they're not donating in different increments of $100 and put their name every time. I'm dropping $10,000, but make sure we're going to do $100 a day and make sure my name's at the top. Like, okay, sir, doesn't make that what you're doing is wrong, but you're obviously wanting some attention. People that put $10,000 and put anonymous, that person's heart is truly in for you.
Right.
And that's the same thing with what's going on out there. But we also need to understand that after what happened during a lot of Atlanta, and we saw the streets, a lot of people are coming back and they're testing positive, which once again, choices. It's not. I'm not. There's no tisk with the finger. It's the choices people are making right now. I'm not going to control that. People that go to the beach, I'm not one of those that puts the angry emoji face and shuns people. It's like, okay, be safe. I hope they're away. I hope they're isolating their family from other families. They're not all hanging out there. But we can't control it. At this point, we need to understand that. When the government can control a lot of it, but we can't. And Morehouse's decision, that's okay. But I hope people are reading that today. Because I'm reading a ton, because that's what we do for a living. They see this report of Morehouse not having a college football season. They think college football is canceled now, and that's not the case either. We just got to be we got to be understanding of every situation.
Well, it's kind of like a couple months ago, the state of California issued that all the colleges would be online, and right then I was like, oh, the whole country will be online, and so, but it's just place by place.
What sport are you looking forward to the most coming back between baseball or basketball?
More of a basketball person myself, and I've kind of looked at with everything going in the NBA, I've kind of grown to be more of an NBA fan, just catching up with what the latest is, because I've never really been an avid NBA fan, but I'm gonna really watch the finals, the playoffs. So they've gained a fan.
Basketball is one of those sports, too, though, that out of every sport, it's the one sport where you feel the most part like, I never could do that.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I played football. I'm not as good as Tom Brady, obviously. And like, someone's like, you didn't have to say that. But no matter what, like, you still, I played quarterback in high school, things like that. You can still throw the football, and it's... If a guy's like, I throw a 60-yard pass, so can I. Yours is better, but I can still do that. Baseball, I can throw. I don't pitch 100, but I can throw in the 80s and play. I can't dunk a basketball ever, even off a trampoline, I'm afraid, at Sky Zone, to try to dunk a basketball from a free throw line. I cannot, like, things like Dwight Howard and Giannis, the things
They're
that these
insane.
guys, you can't physically 7'4" wingspan, and they can do these things. You just can't ever do that. So the physical nature of basketball is incredible to
This
watch.
is nothing against you or your sport.
Well, then please, you don't have to ever say that. Don't worry about it.
But
Yeah.
I love the fast pace of basketball. Just
Most
go in
people
your
do.
head, back and forth. So
Basketball game is to go to is in an environment that's, if Clemson's playing Duke and it's a great game this year, those kind of games, it's a fun environment. It really is. It gets exciting. College basketball environments are fun. College football is, but college football, it's a process. I mean, you leave on a Thursday night, you tailgate, you wake up, you take some Advil on a Sunday morning, you might have to drive back 4 hours. College basketball, you can show up on campus, jump around, have some fun, and, you can tailgate if you want, but you don't have to, kind of thing. Well, it's always been fun catching up. I know I'm looking forward to doing this again here soon. Before we let you go, anything you want to the Cam address here to everybody out there besides just saying maybe goodbye? Or I don't know. I wasn't sure. Sort of like like Bob Barker ends it with "Get your pet spayed and neutered." Who knows? We definitely that's not a path we're going to take here. But overall, sometimes you just end a show with some kind of signing
today,
offline.
Happy Friday, and
that.
I'm going to think of a little goodbye.
Okay, you'll think of your tagline here. Okay, doesn't have to be fancy. You don't even need one.
I'll come back.
You could give one of the salute, which does nothing for radio. Like, what did you do? Be like, just gave one of these. You're like, I don't know what's happening.
Couldn't hear you.
But it's always fun, and looking forward to talking to you next week.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you, Cam Walker, joining us. When we come back, JP and I will break down all of the big games, I guess, in soccer. No, coming up here, we'll get to more and what's the schedule ahead as the NBA has released some of their schedule, and the news today, Morehouse College deciding to cancel its football season. Like we said, no season tickets. Coming back for more Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV. See you, Kim.
Welcome to Bold! Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the most food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. Snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
I returned from combat duty in a wheelchair, but it turns out many apartment buildings can't accommodate me. I fought for freedom and thought I'd be free to choose where I live.
After the phone interview, we assumed the apartment was ours.
But when we showed up, the manager said no longer available.
The only way to stop housing discrimination is to report it. Visit HUD.gov/fair housing or call 1-800-669-9777. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home to hometown sports, covering the biggest high school games. UWF football, catching every game of the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Plus, local sports commentary with the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. And weekend sports talk with Davis Allen and Justin Patrick on the Sports Call. We are local. We are ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Ever wonder how long it takes for litter to decompose? How about a paper towel or newspaper? 2 to 6 weeks. A cigarette butt? 1 to 5 years. That plastic bag? 10 to 20. A disposable diaper or plastic beverage bottle? A whopping 450 years. And for a glass bottle? 1,000,000 years. Let's stop litter madness. Join the team and let's drive it home. Keep our paradise litter-free.
Brought to you by Florida Department of Transportation and Keep Santa Rosa Beautiful.
What if people had a battery level icon? Like on your phone? You'd see a lot of us in need of a recharge. Thank goodness there's 5-Hour Energy. Because just one sugar-free, vitamin-packed 5-Hour Energy shot can get you all the way back to 100% fast. And isn't life better at 100%? 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
For ESPN Pensacola Ridiculous Facts, I'm JP. During the 2002 Soccer World Cup, An Jung-hwan from South Korea scored a goal against Italy in injury time, knocking the Italians out of the World Cup. The next day, his contract with his Italian home club was terminated because the owner said he could not pay the person who had ruined Italian football. I mean, he does have a point. Australian rower Bobby Pierce won the 1928 Olympic Games against 8 other competitors, even though he stopped during the race to let ducks pass in front of him. See, nice guys do finish first. That's your Ridiculous Facts. I'm JP.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin. You're listening to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
I just need you to get real loose. Get comfortable. Grab your loved ones or grab your love partner. And if you're by yourself, no worries. Just follow after me. Gonna do the two-step.
Welcome back. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
It's almost really bad, by the way, because you had that number, the 2-slot potted all the way up.
Did I? Oh.
With Cam being here?
Oh, that would have been bad, yeah. With my voice out there?
Yikes. I think we did that yesterday with Adrian.
I'm glad I didn't have one of my patented incredible jokes that makes you crack up, and that would have been even worse. It would have been so loud.
Are those
the laughter? The laughter that was coming?
By the way, all right, you don't.
Clearly,
people do not need to hear your athletic abilities on radio, okay? Just going to throw that out there. Tom Brady.
Listen, the comparison needed to be made. For years it's been debated, and now, look at this. You finally find my district 2003 class. Did I lose it already?
Oh, jeez.
Is it in here? Okay, it's still in here. My box of goods right here. This is quite the box. We got a $2 bill here.
You're going to get mugged outside the studio.
If you're mugging me for a $2 bill, you better check yourself right now. But this ring,
never mind.
This is priceless, by the way.
Let's be honest. Think about what you just said.
But wouldn't you assume if you're first off, let's be real with what you just said. A crackhead can mug you at any time. They're not really caring what's on you. But you would expect somebody to have more than $2, I would hope, if you're planning it.
You do. You
if
got
it's
that
premeditated.
ring.
So by showing a $2, you would assume that
you
at any time
district
now,
ring.
This thing's priceless.
That thing's worth like $3 or $4.
I think this thing, those class rings are expensive back in the day.
They're all just they're only worth anything to you though.
There should be a show where that there's a place in Alabama that collects. This is real, but there's a place that gets luggage.
Well, the fact that
from
you
the
said
airport.
It's a place in Alabama,
but there is a place in Alabama, a city. People probably know about this. The place that gets leftover luggage after a certain time from the airport, and they sell them, which sounds like a great business model. How did they get the ins on that?
Gotta know
and what's the legality to that?
Gotta know a guy.
Because what if somebody's like,
well, there is writing that when you sit there and you get on a flight, if you don't claim something within a certain time period, then.
But I'm saying I understand that, and if you're like fighting somebody over a pair of jeans that you've left for that long, but what if it was like your grandmother's urn or something like that?
Well, I hope you would care.
And who would be selling that first off too? That'd be a little,
well,
some guys.
You would buy it. You would buy the urn.
How much for Nana's urn over there? Somebody
and then you don't realize there's anything in it. You don't realize it's Nana's urn until you buy it, and then you're like, well, there we go. Too late.
But imagine somebody over there like, how much for that? Be like, you really want this? But what if something's real sentimental right there? A family portrait?
Well, I would hope that you wouldn't just let it go by the wayside.
Well, you don't. Most people don't lose their luggage on purpose.
Yeah, but
if I lost it in Hawaii, no. I mean, if I lost my luggage in Colorado or something,
you of all people would be the one that would lose stuff.
My stuff is probably at that place because I
probably lost tons of luggage.
I traveled a lot, but I always did the walk-ons. I was the guy with the very large walk-on, the one that's borderline walk-on. You know, the ones
and people were pissed because
they tried to get out there. Yeah.
It's like, look at this guy.
I got it in. I always found a way to get it in. That sounded great. Let's talk about what's going on right now with
our Friday show.
NFL right now. I think it's hilarious how everything right now at the NFL, every time somebody pretty much is like, hey, what do you think of the cases and they're like, we're playing. July 28th, you need to report. That's what they, I mean, did you
see the article Ian O'Connor of ESPN.com?
Yeah.
I laughed because I did a little research. Because I'm doing
he's
research
just bitter
on some
right
of these
now
guys.
because he's a Patriot guy. He's a Boston.
Yeah, some of these guys are 100% hypocrites writing, like Mike Florio and stuff, writing this stuff like he's the biggest activist now. Yet he's done some questionable things in his past. Yeah. But like all of a sudden, like he's criticizing other people, and it's like, whoa, bro, like check yourself real quick before you could point the finger. But Ian O'Connor writing this article that says Brady's workouts need to stop now. And like shame on him. But let's look at other like 6 or 7 quarterbacks that are working out. He points out Tom Brady, and then I go back and I'm like, he covers the Patriots. Of course, it makes sense. It's all a part of the Patriot way. Like he's just sitting there. He puts the spotlight on him, and it's basically like he's been a role model up to this point. How dare him? It's like
they need to calm down because he threw a football with a couple guys at a park, and they're really like bashing him right now. Yeah, that's not
Ian O'Connor. Get him out of here.
Well, it's like everything. I mean, honestly, everybody is looking for something to talk about, and they're jumping onto these stories.
It's the Keystone Classic. That's what we need to talk about. Penn State, Pittsburgh. There you go. The
Please
Beehive
elaborate
boot.
on that.
The Beehive boot.
We should go through the names of all the different bowls. I mean, the names of some classics.
Farmageddon, that's got to be my favorite.
Farmageddon's a good one. I think.
Farmageddon wins it.
This is all in light of your Civil War. That
with Oregon State.
It's called right now. It's called a you know what whooping for Oregon State.
Beating
Although
that,
they have a quarterback that apparently might make the Jake Luton, right? Going up there for.
He got drafted.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah. Is he in the Jags?
If he is, well, he's not going to hear. We're not going to hear from him anymore.
You think he's battling Minshew for that job right there?
Yeah, you know what? Whatever's going on in Jacksonville right now, I feel sorry for Jags fans because what a mess. I mean, you look at teams right now. Doug Marrone, how in the heck does he still have a job with what's going on right now? Like, just the team overall. Gardner Minshew, and look, I like Gardner Minshew. I don't love Gardner Minshew. I don't think he's a future quarterback for him. I think he's like a really good backup.
He's one of the guys you want to root for too.
Yeah, he is absolutely, and I do root for him. You know, the mustache, the bandana, and all that kind of stuff. Sure, he's got his own personality, but the fact that the Jags are like, yep, that's our future. It's just like you've given up.
You need to elaborate more when you say that. Based on that, the mustache and bandana. I've met a lot of creepers with that.
Have you seen?
If you
Gardner
say
Minshew?
I really like him, the mustache and bandana. A lot of people if you say just mustache and bandana. You're going down a path of not the best dudes. Wouldn't that be like an Uncle Rico thing from Napoleon Dynamite? Like I don't.
Uncle Rico could play.
He could throw that football over the mountains.
Country
right
mile.
There. We need to bring him back right here.
By the way,
can I do that in studio without breaking something? Let me
ask you this: Does Kaepernick or Cam Newton get signed first?
Is that how you?
No, that's Vince Young. Kaepernick or Cam Newton? Who gets signed first?
I'll go with. Feel very confident in this answer. Cam Newton.
Do you With that being
Kaepernick, why would you not right now? Yeah.
You think Cap will be signed?
I don't think so. Why? Because you know why though.
I agree.
But the reason I'm saying that though is why would you not strike why would you not strike back? Like this would be your time to shine right now. Nothing's going on. The camps aren't happening.
It's always
if you're the owner, one of the 32 owners that makes the announcement, we just signed Colin Kaepernick. Whether I agree, you agree with it, it's going to get a bunch of heart emojis, and everybody's going to be talking about you. Like you're going to be it. So if somebody was going to do it, I think they would already have done it. I'm just saying, like, why would you want to wait and not get the press if you want the hype, which a lot of everybody in the spotlight owners
Keystone
like
Classic.
Spotlight.
That's why
Keystone Classic. That's
and Farmageddon.
Let's take that note. I was going to take a break before that, but Farmageddon's in there. But tough day for Morehouse. Tough day for more.
Football season never ends on Talk Football with Coach K.
Stidham is tearing it up at New England. He may well be the incumbent to Tom Brady there.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Coach K brings his expertise as he breaks down the game, the players, the coaches, and the front office. Plus, high-profile interviews from the biggest names in football. Talk Football with Coach K every weekday from noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1.
Hey, seafood lovers, Shannon's Seafood Kitchen is open with dining inside and outside as well as touchless curbside pickup. The best catfish this side of the Mississippi, homemade gumbo, jumbo fried shrimp, hand-rolled Filipino-style lumpia, po' boys piled high with fresh seafood, coastal fried flounder, and fresh mullet every day. They continue to take precautions for your safety whether you dine in or take out. Open Tuesday through Saturday at 11, 7000 Pine Forest Road, or call 941-1982. Shannon's Seafood Kitchen.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola.
Keystone Classic.
13th.
Farmageddon.
Farmageddon, man.
Which
I
one?
wanna be in
You
that
want
game.
the Keystone Classic? Would you rather play in the Keystone Classic or Farmageddon?
Farmageddon, man.
For sure.
Are there
Keystone,
animals on the like? There do they have like air? Like at the beginning, I can see people.
Farmageddon, you can do whatever you want.
You've got cattle in like warrior suits on the sidelines
That'd
with
be great,
pigs,
actually.
ducks, everything. Just unleash all the farm animals and.
Just this picture that's going on in my head right now.
Winning team gets to clean the
you
barn.
know where I'm
They
from.
get the, yeah,
so I
know.
can picture this. This is easy.
I've been locked in a barn by Mike Leach. Looking at the sorry,
we need to get to that after the show.
Never mind. When it comes down to there was a moment in a barn one time. I don't want to talk about that. Coach K talking about a well, I'm not going to get into that.
K. Stevenson?
No.
Sorry, habit.
No.
I was like, wait
never mind. That's not the way we need to end our Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Be safe out there. Remember, bars are closed. Be safe. If you're going out, social distance, wear masks.
Farmageddon.
Don't have anything to do with Farmageddon. God bless everybody.
But I swear I'll stay if you give me a reason. Can you hear me? I'm falling to pieces. But I swear I'll stay if you give me a reason. Can you hear me? I'm falling to pieces.
It's time for your ESPN Pensacola Sports Drive headlines. Chad Brillante, JP, Phil Mickelson, 13 under par at the Travelers in the lead. Good old, can't call him Hefty Lefty anymore. Clemson, he's like, I didn't want you ever to call me that. Looking at Clemson football, 14 more positive tests, now a total of 37. 16 out of 302 players in the NBA test positive for the coronavirus. Morehouse has scrapped their football season. It's in Atlanta, folks. And over the pandemic, so it will not be playing this year. And then also, Adam Silver addressed the NBA will be moving forward. Nothing is risk-free, but coming out with the different schedules, including the Jazz Pels, Lakers Clippers, to tip off the NBA restart. You'll get some Zion, get a little Utah Jazz, and then Lakers and Clippers. Rudy Gobert, even though there's nobody in the spotlights, make sure keep your hands to yourself.
Farmageddon.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Spain and Company on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Welcome back to Spain and Company. Sarah Spain, Jordan Cornett with you. ESPN Radio, ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil